Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Pele Yoetz. Today we're talking about extenuating circumstances, and it states that a wise man said that whoever makes a mistake claims that he is protected, quote unquote, by the rule of a man who is beset by extenuating circumstances is exempted by the Torah from responsibility. For even the slightest reason, he exempts himself from everything that is good by claiming that he is a victim of extenuating circumstances and is not able to perform the deed. This is either because he likes to rest, to deal in business, has a pain, is weak or ill, or his Yetzirah attacks him and he is not able to vanquish it. However, everyone knows that the claim of these types of extenuating circumstances is useless in Olam Haba, and the only thing that exempts one is a compelling hardship. The way to differentiate between compelling hardship and one that is not is by imagining that one had an opportunity to earn amazing profit. If the circumstances is one that would cause him to abandon this opportunity, then he knows that it's a compelling hardship. But if to make such a profit, he disregards the circumstance and forces himself by saying, "What can you do?" There's a profit to be made. One must force himself. What shall he answer on the day of judgment? He will surely be ashamed and embarrassed, and he will not have a mouth to respond nor a head to raise up. He will be sorely punished, as the master of judgment will impose upon him. About this it says in Mishlei 2:4-5, if you seek it like money and search it for like a hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of Hashem. This is a great principle in Torah, and the Jewish people's engaging in Torah business has been its source of light. So now this is something, many of us can fall into this trap. And, sometimes we, it really could be for anything. If if you have a mitzvah, an opportunity to do a mitzvah in front of you, first of all, the light that comes down from Shemayim just to give you the ability to do that mitzvah is already great, right? And it's always recommended that once you have that idea to do the mitzvah, you should do it right away, because then the Yetzirah comes in and he tries to steal it from you and give you these excuses, right? And, sometimes, you go out and, like, let's say for example, you have a sukkah, right? And you don't want to eat in it. You don't want to eat in it. Because maybe it's like, it's too cold. What can I do? Right. And I'm not talking about like freezing cold. Like it's just, it's cold, but you can put on a jacket and you can make it work. Right. But you're giving yourself the excuse, it's too cold. So that would be different from someone who, let's say, the wind came and blew down his sukkah altogether. And that is truly a what can you do? Right. What can you do? Or it's like a torrential rain, then that's truly what can you do. So sometimes, and this could, really fall for anything, but, the problem is sometimes we say these things to ourselves, kind of trying to give ourselves an out. Again, we talked about, this lack of MS where we're creating these malachim who are also giving us these justifications. But when we're doing this, the problem is that when we get to Olam Haba, the true MS, that there's no sheker there, that there's nothing really to hide behind, you're really not going to have an answer. We don't have an answer. And the embarrassment I think not only the embarrassment of not having the answer, but because it's almost like there's a light bulb that went off that just said, what was I thinking? But then when they tell you the reward that you could have gained out of it and you didn't, I think that becomes even a greater hardship to somebody. So, very interesting. And believe it or not, that was it. That was the whole paragraph. So short and sweet, very simple, but something to keep in mind. For as simple as it is, it does pack a punch, because it is something that we all deal with on a daily basis. So we have to be very careful, and you have to put it through that test. If you have to always put it in that context, what would be your response in Shemayim? And if there is no response, or you're flipping for words here, it's probably you just do it. But my advice has been, the advice that I've heard is that whenever you have the idea to do a mitzvah, you should do it right away. So that's it for today, and I hope we'll all be together again soon. B'ezrat Hashem.